memos a little bit. Code book is already there. I'll share and the work will begin. Are you there, everyone? Are you there? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wow, the lunch was very good. Thank you so much. So let's come back. As I said that everybody continues to be in rest unless compelled otherwise by an external force. So let's come back from the inertia of rest again. Rashi, everything fine? You had good food? Very good. So what we will do, see, try and understand that today is the first day you are working on this software. Tomorrow will be the second day. The analysis part we will do tomorrow. The report part, the analysis part, the networking part, but I will share a video that I have already done on that. But before that I will also introduce memos, and there was a visualization that I showed you yesterday and all. They're all there. But how to do all that we will do tomorrow. Right now there is a very important thing about code books. So first of all I'll play a video on that and then we'll start working on the code books, right?
Yes, sir.
If you want we can work on the memos a little bit as well. So let us just see that video and then we'll come back to the work. As we go along, if there are questions, feel free to ask me as often as you want. So this guide to networks analysis techniques, we'll see that tomorrow. Right now I want you to see the memo writing and the code book part. So the first part here is code book, which we'll do, but before that we'll also talk about the memo writing part. So very quickly, are you ready for this 13-minute video?
Yes, sir.
We'll start with that, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, and then we start working.
I think we have recently got an upgrade to Gravity Pro, and it's been an absolute lifesaver. Right now, we have an amazing offer, 50% off promo set.
In this video, we'll see how to import coding schemes from an Excel file. So I have created this code book on an Excel file. And this is the one that I will be sharing with you. Is similar to this, but it is for the NEP, so it's not the same thing. This was for the newspaper that I was just showing you. So this is a different code book. So this video is for the newspaper project, not for this. For you, I've already shared. I think Shankar has already shared that on the group. You can download and we'll work on that. But just see how this is done. Just see that. This is how we need to create code books if we need to import it to Atlas.ti. So the first column is for the code, the second column is the description, and all the other columns are about code groups. Even if you do not name this first row with the headers, Atlas.ti will take these columns in this sequence. The first is code, the second is description, the third is code group, etc. So I have this 22 codes, and I have put them in these 5 groups. So one column can only be for one group. So this is how I have created this code group. So we'll start with the same project that we created in our earlier 2 videos. We have 17 documents there. We have 17 codes here. Here I have information about all the codes. Number 491 here means that 491 quotations have been coded with this word sentiment. And 0 means there are no links here with sentiment and another code. Let's go to this import and export tab, and we can import code book here. So let's click on the code book, import code book, and it's an Excel format. So we'll click this. Here we can specify the folder where my code book is. It asks me whether it contains headers, and we know from the Excel file that the first row was a header, so we'll import. So the code book has been imported here, and now we can see there are 39 codes here. And the code groups are also increased. So if you remember from the Excel file, that we had these media types, and we had parties, and we had campaign and voters and so on, and all these things are here. So all the codes that we created in the code book have been imported here. And some of them, they are part of groups. And they've all been coded with a different color. I can change the color here as well. Change color. This is black by default. I can change it to gray. We can use these groups of filters. So parties will have affiliation, ideology, influence, and perception. I'll check all this and I can change the color. This is black. I can change it to yellow, for example. Issues. I can change it to another color. Let's make it pink. So now when I go to my codes, I can see that there are different colors, and based on colors I can identify the groups that they belong to. So the groups, as we saw in the first video, can be regarded as a kind of a theme. So if I open the code manager, these are the groups that I can see here. The ones with the yellow mark, they belong to some group. So this economic, it belongs to the issues group. The celebrities, it belongs to the campaign group. The advertising, it belongs to the media type group. So we have already identified themes here. For example, if I put Delhi and caste, for example, and this one as well, election. I can create a new group there. I can just create a new group from selection. I can name it local issues. There's another way of adding hierarchies there, so we can just have a new code. Let's name it local. So in hierarchy, what we do is we have the code, and the ones which we want to appear beneath that, we've already seen the hierarchies. Sentiment, beneath the sentiment we had positive, neutral and all that. Beneath the persons you had all those entities. Beneath the organization you had all those entities. If you want to create hierarchies on our own, we just create one code, and beneath that code we drag it, one indent a little bit, and it comes below that. That's how we do in normal computer coding most of the times, but here or even in menus and all that we do that. So this is just that the same old thing that is done, creating those hierarchies if they're required, because probably that will be needed in analysis. So just we create one of those codes, and some of those other codes will drag it inside. Just see that how we do that. We can create a code. Now I can add the ones that I want onto local issues. So I can move more over Delhi and get local issues. So as we can see there, we have created a hierarchy there. So this local issues is now the category, and under that we have Delhi. So under that, whatever, so we can describe that as a category, these are scores. Maybe from categories to themes. So as you can understand that we are looking at those hierarchies. Do you remember the presentation I showed you in the morning? We spoke of codes, categories, themes, overarching themes. You need not always have everything. You can go from straight code to themes. But we are just showing you some of these options, and we will show you how to link them maybe tomorrow. How to link those codes and how to say it is a part or it is opposed to that, this, that, whatever, and then you can visualize that also. Yeah, and the local issue, you can bring in caste, for example. It asks me move caste and local issues. So you can bring it here. So now we can see local issues is a category, and under that we have two subcategories. So we can create these hierarchies inside this coding group as well. And if I just open the code again, I can see that these are the codes. The ones which have a triangle there, for example, sentiment has 3 categories inside it. If I want, I can create some of these things or these higher order things into groups. So I can take the sentiment and I can take person, which is also a higher order group. I can take this. I can even create a new folder out of this section. So I can call them major issues.
So I'm looking at more abstract themes. Can you understand? Codes, categories, themes.
Inside this folder, there are major issues. Inside this folder, I can find out those 2 things.
The screen is not visible.
The one is about a person and then about the sentiments. So that is one way of creating this hierarchy. If I want, I can use these groups to describe themes. Or if I have to describe the categories inside categories, the person, this is the category, and
I
inside.
need to change the focus or something. I mean, is the
Focus is
something wrong with the focus or something? Focus is with the remote. Yes, clearer, is it? It's clear, right? Is it visible now? You want me to go back? That's fine. I'll continue from here. Go back.
Which I can take the sentiment and I can take person, which is also a higher order group. I can take this. I can even create a new folder out of these selections. So I can call them major issues.
From higher order categories to themes. We start off with codes, higher order categories, and then I'm combining those higher order categories to get into themes. We will, as I said, these are options you must keep in mind. We will have to combine certain codes into themes, and then that's what will be required in the analysis part.
So if I open codes, inside this folder there are major issues. Inside this folder I can find out those 2 things. The one is about a person and then about the sentiments. So that is one way of creating this hierarchy. If I want, I can use these groups to describe themes. Or if I have to describe the categories inside categories, the person, this is the category, and inside that we have the subcategories of Amit Shah, Gandhi, Mamta, Modi, Narendra Modi, so.
Since this is about the 2014 elections, these are the categories, as you can understand, they have some meaning there. Am I clear?
Yes. Etc. Or inside sentiment we have subcategories. So inside a category we have these subcategories.
So as you can understand, since this is about elections, more negative than positive. Can you see this difference? In NEP we had more positive because it was a government document which they themselves are showing. Can you see that? And so this is a newspaper article, more negative than positive, because news is all about things which are not going on well. If everything is well, newspapers and televisions will close down.
like
So
document
when you have
category is category of document is making the sentiments difference.
Yes. If you have groups, in fact it's the same thing I did, maybe in the last video you'll see that. We did that for Telegraph separately, we did that for HT separately, we did that, I'll share that on your group today. So that's where the analysis begins. So as I said, concentrate on coding today, analysis will do tomorrow, the whole before lunch.
This kind of a figure which is different from the codes, this suggests that there are further subcategories there. So we can create these hierarchies inside Atlas.ti, and we can also create folders as we have seen. So we can either create groups or we create another code, and within that code we create those categories. So we can create subcategories inside a major category. So the codes which have this yellow bar there, they belong to group. So if I see this, if I click on this advertising, I can see that this belongs to the media type group. And if you remember, this was the code that we had imported from our Excel code book. Similarly, if I click on celebrities here, it tells me it's a part of the campaign. But the ones which do not have these yellow marks on the top, for example, if I click on the negative, it is not a part of any group.
So whether the code is part of a group or not is shown by those yellow marks at the end of it. I don't know whether you can see that from there. These yellow marks, you can see that on the top of that there is a yellow mark. And on top of this, that for everyone. Wherever there is a yellow mark means it's a part of a group. If there is no yellow mark, for example the sentiments, there is no yellow mark, it's not a part of any group. So there's oh, thank you. Very fast.
But these are subcategories.
So sentiment and all, there are no groups. It's just separate. That's why it is not shown there.
Chart a part of this category sentiment. So it's very important to understand these differences.
So the more you work with software, the better you learn. If you think that you know everything about Word, I'm sure I can tell you 3 or 4 things, or you can tell me 2 or 3 things that I don't know. Verb is a very good reference manager. Verb is a very good, it can work very good as an APA 6 or APA 7 or whatever, MLA, Chicago, all those styles. So there are many things we do not know about Excel, PowerPoint. The more we work on all that, and this is of course a very specialized software. The more you work on this, you get to know these nitty-gritties, these small, simple, things.
And this will become very useful when we are going to analyze things. And while analyzing these groups, they have a very important role to play. One very important.
So this is it. Memos. Please listen to this because we. So today we'll talk about memos as well. When I give you the code book, we can start working on the memos also. Because along with coding, we must know whether it is addressing a research question 1, research question 2, research question 3, whether I can see certain trends there. There is an ideas memo that whenever I get an idea, whenever there is a flash bulb lighting up, I write down those ideas in memos so that I can link it with codes, I can link it with quotations, I can link it with documents. Do you remember that? The hierarchy, what is the document? The one I import. The NEP is the document. What are quotations? The paragraphs that are chosen. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. And within quotations are codes. Codes can be grouped together into code groups. Am I clear? Yes. And we can even take those code groups and take them to a folder. So we can take them to 3 or 4 different levels. Then we try and find out the relation between them. That's where the analysis and the report writing part will come. The querying part will come. We have a query thing also. I'll show you in a moment's time. But that is for tomorrow. Does it make sense? Yes?
Yes.
Wonderful. So memo is another part that we have spoken about. Let's see.
The thing that we can do with Atlas.ti is the use of memos. So we go to home, we add new entities, and we can add new memo there. Memos can be of very many types. They can be about research questions, they can be a research diary, they can be about our reflections as we go along, it can be about explanation of codes. When we go to the actual writing, these memos will play a very important role. For example, I can call it research question 1, I'll create it. The moment I click it, I get this interface which is very similar to any document processing interface. I can format in paragraphs, I can have numberings, I can insert a picture, I can even insert a hyperlink, I can insert date and time quotations. Generally, it's advisable to insert a date and time because it gives us an idea about when this memo was created. Then we can write about the memo itself. So this is a research question 1, so I can just write about what is the research question. Which issues were highlighted by publications? I can, as I said, we can insert hyperlinks also, so I can hyperlink election. If I click onto this, it will go on to the website that has been hyperlink. As you can see, I just need to control click to go to the website. I can insert pictures or I can insert other queries there. So I just need to save this. So I will save this memo RQ1. If I now go on to this project explorer, I can see that one memo has been created in RQ1. We can link these memos to quotations. So
Please see this carefully.
Open any of those documents where I think that this memo will have an important role to play. So I can link this particular memo to this code here. So I just need to
Clicking and dragging it there.
and I can see this memo has been included here. There are other kinds of memos that we can introduce here. So the same way, we'll just go to new entities, new memo. Let's call it research ideas. As we go along, and whenever any idea comes up, I can just create this more negative campaigning in process. I can just save it once again. I have a memo manager here as well. It shows me what those memos are. So the first one was about research questions. I can just set type, and I can say that it's a research question type. So this appears as a research question type. The second one, I can set its type as ideas. So there can be a number of memo types, and we can link these memos to codes, we can link them to documents, we can link them to quotations. In fact, we can add quotations there wherever we want, and I can insert quotation here. Good thing about this memo is I can export them as reports. So I can create reports out of all my memos. So I can use both these memos, and I can talk about the content, about the models and the codes and the quotations, and I can create a report there. And that can be used when I'm writing my final report. And we can link it to codes as well, as I said. So we can just have these memos. And for example, if I open these codes, I can just drop one of those memos onto the code. The codes, for example, if I think that this research question is there about this neutral, I can add that. I bring this neutral code to the memo. I can show that in the network also. So here, this research question where I've added one code and it's linked to the code neutral. We'll deal more with these networks in the next video.
Thanks for staying around, friends. As always, it was a delight having you here. I'll be back with another video very soon. Till then, have a great day. Not very soon, tomorrow. Can we have lights, please? Otherwise, we'll feel sleepy. As I told you, it's all about the brain. It will remind you of the inox, and all of us will fall asleep. I don't know whether you have inox here, but we have a lot of inox. You have one here? Okay. That's why a lot of people say that you should not lie down and read, because when you're lying down, your brain is telling you that go off to sleep. So that's not a good thing, lying down and sleep. Trying to read. You should always. People say that when you have to think, walk or whatever. So when you're walking or whatever, the blood circulation is better. You think better. So when you have to think, just don't sit down and think. Probably walk and think. So there are all those small tricks that we know. So Shankar, can we have back here? We use that for the audio.
Yes.
And let's come back to this. So before I start the coding process. Let me talk about the memos. Just let me add the sentiment analysis very quickly. So the sentiment which was not working for others, it's working. Make sure, there's one issue. If you see that the sentiment code is not working, just go to options, go to application preferences, display language, and you change it to English. Instead of automatic, change it to English. Then probably it might work. Did it work for you? Somebody is working? Still not working? Then probably you might need to reinstall whatever. Because they are not recognizing the language, that is the problem. I'll close the program, start again. No, I don't want Microsoft to know about it. It opened up codes. So now if I do, it will not do. So make sure you are choosing documents. Can you see this? When I open the document manager, the code was open. If I select the code and try to do sentiment analysis, it will do only on those codes, not on the entire document. So I'll have to go to documents here, select the document. In some of those cases, they are not showing those models. I don't know why, probably some hardware problem or not, I'm not sure. But you might need to reinstall or whatever. Because if you don't get English, then the sentiment analysis won't work. So there are two people for whom they did not work, that's why I am. So what we did basically there was to create memos which are words, thoughts. In memos also, if you can see, you can write comment. But since memo is already about certain thoughts, certain reflections, certain ideas, certain research questions, certain indicators, I have to put it separately. This is a very badly worded one. You can also use ChatGPT to correct your research questions. That please rewrite the research questions or whatever. If you're not doing it already, please do it. Put those research questions on ChatGPT, ask them to, put it, rewrite it correctly and so on and so forth. They'll do it better. As I already told you, we can add a lot of things there. We can insert date and time if you want. So it has to be 4. As you can see, this memo is slightly different from the one I showed you in the video, because here the insert is there after these 3 things, right? I can link this memo to school. Am I clear? Because the research question was what are the major things about schools, and I have coded schools here. I am linking this memo to the school here. How do I link it? Clicking and dragging it over the code here. Is that clear? Yes or no? Now I can see this here. That my research question 1 is linked to the code school, which is a part of the document D1. If my memo is linked to many other codes, I can see that in the visualization. Am I clear? Memos are very important to write because we are not used to this part. We must make sure that it becomes a regular part of our exercise. Am I clear about that? एक बार और जब पहले स्टार्ट की इसको लग रहा था ये बेकार चीज है इसलिए नहीं देखा
Are you adding the research questions into them?
यस बिल्कुल मैंने वही किया
It's like a putting a sticky notes on a paper, sir.
linking you can link it to different so that way you get this is only about one since this was about only one if you link it to many others you can see those others as well I'll just show you again, right? You know how to create memos? You know or you don't?
Yes, sir.
We go to new entities, create a new memo, call it ideas, create you can insert date and time, you can even insert a quotation if you want. Whichever quotation you want, you can insert that quotation in the memo. Am I clear? We have inserted this entire thing of all that. We have to look at the connections between school and higher education. Just like that, right? Done? Now I have these two memos here. I can see it here also, there are two memos here. I'll open the codes, I can open the code groups or whatever. I want to add this idea just to show you, I mean there is no link like that, but I can add this to neutral and I can also add it to school. Am I clear? Now if you look at network, you will see that school ideas RQ1 has been added to school. And they're both a part of D1. Because we have only one document, that's why it does not matter. But if there are more than one document, this will matter. Yes? Is that clear? The same with sentiment. The main group is sentiment, beneath that there is sentiment negative, they are a part of D1. Very, very simple, I mean this is just a simple relation. When we link it further tomorrow, we'll see what the networks are like. We'll do that. I'll share one video on networks with you later on about network and network groups. Memos are an additional part. They are there to help us in writing. They help us to keep track of our thoughts. You might link them or you might not link them, but they are there as a separate entity. They are not like comments. Comments are always linked to whatever they are. Now we are ready to import code books. Are we ready? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. So please let me know whether you have this access to this thing. First of all, I am showing you the faulty one. This is the faulty one, right? These are the codes. ECE, policy, foundation literacy, and we have descriptions. What these codes mean.
Sir, the descriptions you took from the document.
No, I made the description. Right? I have to describe the code, what it means. Every code I make, I write a comment below. Did I tell you right at the beginning that there is a comment I write about the codes? That is the description. Because when I export that code book, when I export that will be there in the description. Here I am already adding, please see this carefully. I'll come to that, we will very soon use that. Foundation literacy, initiatives to enhance basic literacy and numeracy skills. I have given an example here, probably that's not required in the code book. That's why I have named it as code book NEP faulty or fault. Am I clear? Because if I import this, then I will not get these groups then. Please see this carefully. The first part is about 49 codes there. Technology integration, multilingual education, ethical values, arts integration, Datta Niranjan integration, sports.
Even
51 is the thing, but the first thing is, that is 50 codes actually. The first row is the header. Am I clear? Each of these codes have a definition. You can have some meta definition. So that, am I clear about that?
Yes, sir.
You understand about this coding? I am giving you the names. Do you agree with this code, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this on your screen? Please tell me whether it makes sense or not. It's very, very important. This is the analysis. I think that the NEP document can be coded on one of those things. I mean, every paragraph can be coded on one or more of these things. I have made a description of that. I have also given you examples of that. And I think that they can be grouped like that. The first 5 codes, early childhood education. The next 5 codes, foundational skills. The next one, and can you see this, they are all exclusive. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
When you create code book tomorrow, it has to be like that, otherwise it will not be exportable. I'm already giving you this, so you know how to do it. It's all there in the text also. If you read it carefully, you'll find that in the text also. Datta Niranjan has a text, you can share it with them, that's why I didn't share it. Tomorrow. Susan Fraser's book. You did? The text has been shared on the group? The WhatsApp group, I didn't notice it. It has been shared?
Yes.
The group?
Yes, sir.
Oh, then probably it was shared before I was added. Fine. Wonderful. So we have these 10 groups. Can you see this? Exclusive groups. Group has to be exclusive. Physical and artistic integration, assessment and evaluation. Trying to make it as, so you can treat it as some experiment or some work which has already gone ahead. Can you see this carefully? Ethical reasoning, language promotion, inclusive technology. You remember the coding yesterday? You did yourself yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Please tell me yes or no, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Because you are going to do that coding on NEP document right now. I am giving you the codes. You have to apply the codes. Right? I'll show you how to import the code book. Agree with the point? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
So we will import the code book and then we will apply the codes. I'll just show you. The final one that I'll be using does not have the examples. I have given examples just so that you know that this is how this is what it meant. You need not have the examples, but if you have to put it as an annexure in your thesis or whatever, then you can have the examples. Atlas.ti does not understand. Machine understands only certain languages. So I'll have to make it machine readable. Humans understand other languages. I'll have to make it human. That's why we made 2. Agree with that?
Yes.
A lot of hard work? Of course it is. Code book requires a lot of things. Because I had a lot of those things already ready, I could work on that. Clear?
Yes, sir.
The first, I mean, even if you don't have this header, that's what I told you in the video also. If you don't have the header, it will take the first one as code, the second one as description, it will come in the comment. We'll show you. And the group will appear separately. Ready to import?
Yes, sir.
All of your importers? Well, exporters? Viewer. Where is the energy? Why is it so low? Give me 10-15 more minutes, you'll have a chai and coffee. I am doing the talking, I am doing the running, you're sitting and sleeping. Yes or no?
Yes.
Please say yes, you're awake, yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Louder please, yes or no?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you so much. What will you do at our age? Will you say sleep? क्या कहा? प्रियंका ने कुछ कहा? क्या कहा? बताओ नो प्रॉब्लम यार.
सुना नहीं दे बताओ क्या है
तब मौका नहीं मिलेगा स्लीप का. अभी you are in a protected home environment, that's why you can afford to sleep, not when you have to do everything yourself. Okay, so let me import the code book now. Very simple, and you've seen that also. Import and export code book. Import code book. My data contains headers. Yes, it contains headers. The OK one. Before I start, how many codes are there? In my document, only 5 because I removed other things. Only 5 codes are there in my document, and there are no code groups, right? Now when I import the code book, how many codes do I have now? 54.
3 of centimeter.
You will have more because I didn't. If I go to the navigator and look at codes, can you see these yellow marks now?
Yes.
They are part of those groups. So these are code groups. This is a code. Can you see this here? If I click onto a code, not the groups, only the codes. Now nothing has been coded, right? We can see the groups. Arts inclusion, technology and education is a group. Grounded 0, density 0. Nothing has been coded yet. Can you see this here? See, you can just see here. Arts inclusion. What I had included in the comment? Inclusion of arts in the curriculum. Can you see it appearing in the comment? Please see this here. Please, I see the screen. Assessment reform. Reforming assessment to focus on competency-based learning. It was there. Where was it?
In the
description. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Digital literacy. Enhancing digital skills among students. Whatever. Research focus, it was there. Sentiment, that we had not given any description. You can provide description in the. Can you see here? There is no comment for this. Did you notice? Because we have auto-coded it. We had not given any comment. For these things, I had already given comment. Where? In the code book. Fabulous. Wonderful. So let's open the document. Now we have to apply the codes to each of these paragraphs. This is creating a quotation. Now I can see all the codes that I've added there. Can you see it here? दिख रहा है right में? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You don't even have to click and drag here. In the earlier edition, you have to click and drag. Here, you only have to switch it on. Whatever codes I have added, can you see all the codes here? How do you see that?
Yes, select.
I selected this paragraph. As of now, it has only one code. Are you there, all of you? Please, are you there? Please raise your hands. Are you there?
Yes.
Are you here?
Yes.
Please respond. I'm only answering myself. You have to do this work. Otherwise, it's getting very repetitive. I'm doing the talking, you're only doing the watching. Now you have to do the doing and I'll do the watching. You right click onto this paragraph,
Apply codes.
apply codes, and all the code that I've added to my Excel sheet is appearing here.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
I will have to decide which one to use, or I can just use one word, it will come up.
We can search for the codes.
We can search for the codes, right? Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Suppose, say for example, this is about higher education research. I just need to click it on. It gets applied there. How do I know? Just see here. Can you see this here?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Please tell me. Even if it is no, tell me. But say something. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So we have imported a code book. Now we are coding the document. It is becoming very easy because I have the entire list present with me. I just need to switch it on. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Will you be able to do that in the post-tea or lunch, post-tea session today?
Yes, sir.
The entire document?
Yes, sir.
And we'll come and see whether, because we can see whether you have coded or not. We will see the set of code.
Yes, sir.
It's very easy for you
Yes, sir.
because I will ask you to make code books and do all that maybe tomorrow, so that we can go for the analysis step. Because I think that if you do this coding exercise, this part is clear. You become experts in coding. How did we get this list? We created it.
Yes.
What if there is something outside the list? You're free to do that. It's inductive research. I just need to type plus it is there. Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Can everyone do that? Yes or no?
Yes,
sir.
Wonderful. Right click. Apply code. Write whatever. Right? Excellence. Plus. Gets added here. Excellence. Higher education. Positive. We might want to see whether some of them are co-occurring, etc., etc. That is the analysis part tomorrow. Right? It's there. If you go to analyze, you find a lot of those things. Clear? So, using the code book that I have provided you, please code as much of the document as you can. That is the exercise for today.
Yes, sir.
And I will help you if there are problems. But we have seen that the codes have been imported, the codes have the descriptions, and they appear under groups. How do we know code groups? Where are code groups? Go to this manager, go to code groups, and you can see the code groups. They are there. Are they here?
Yes, sir.
They are here. The only thing is that the groups have not been commented upon. I can click and add comments about the groups also because they are the themes. If I don't do that, I can link the memos to the code groups. Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Can I do yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Are confidence क्यों नहीं? You're like the Indian cricket team. So you add and then the analysis becomes a lot more easier, a lot more richer. All of you are confident of making code books for Atlas.ti?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
That's a very important skill that you've learned. It's not so easy. All credit to you. All of you are very bright people. Right? Our job is only to make it as simple as possible for you. Now, you can use outside codes and you can create inside codes and you can get ahead with the analysis. Query analysis, document, etc. tomorrow. And all of you will live happily ever after. Okay, so we have time for chai and coffee.
Going slowly, sir. Confused and so going slowly. Not fast.
There is some confusion. You confused, madam.
What? Tell me.
Right now, in addition to your groups, whatever coding is there,
I'll tell you.
so we can add. So I have added.
Now what I'm showing, asking you to do, I'll repeat that again. All you please see here again. Do ask me. I mean, I would love to, come back again and again and again. See. Let me expand this document so that I can read that better. Am I clear? Let us expand it so that we can read it better. Now, I select it. I select it. Right click. Apply codes. All the codes that I have added appear in this list. Am I clear?
Sir.
Whatever works for my paragraph, I will try and add it here. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Inclusive technology. If it is about inclusive technology, if it is about agenda, whatever I think works, or I can write and code it. Maybe merge. I can merge codes later also. Is that clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
I can either add this, whatever I have to do. Say for example, higher education. I click that and I just click it on the right side. This code is added here. How do I know? Just see here, this is higher education. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Anyone, thing, there is not one thing you should leave the room without not understanding. Please ask me 5 times, no problem. How to see the code group? Code manager में आओ. यहाँ code group. आगे. ये जो manager है ये, document manager, code manager, quotation manager, network manager, links manager, सब manager है. Clear? और इसको छोटा बड़ा कर लो ये देखो. जैसा चाहिए वैसे. पूरा ही गायब. I do invite questions all the time. Feel free to address questions all the time. So all of us can create existing code book, use existing code books as a starting point. Because the software is overwhelming at the beginning, have the code books and then start on it. So before you come for tomorrow's exercise, please listen. First bench. So have a small document and create a small code book before you come, so that we can use it for analysis. You can ask questions from your field. Otherwise you will say that I only did NEP. No, do anything. Bring your own document, create your own code books, we'll work on analysis. Right? Whatever questions are, feel free to ask. I will attempt to address it to the best of my ability. Fine?
Yes.
Chai, coffee? Thanda garam?
नहीं है.
Yeah. So So start working on the code now. So start adding codes to your entire document. কি দেখাচ্ছে না? কোনটা এডিট করেছে দেখি। এখানে নিয়ে এসো। ভাইরাস ঢুকিয়ে দিয়েছো কিছু? Yeah, sure. এসো বসো সেট কোনটা করেছো? এই কোড কোনটা করেছো? এটা চলছে না তো? ঠিক আছে।
স্যার এখানে কি প্যারাগ্রাফগুলো ধরে করব নাকি
প্যারাগ্রাফ সেন্টেন্সটা একটু বাড়াবাড়ি হয়ে যায়। Javaraj sir, clear? Make sense? Once you know what it is all about, you can have your own usages for that. But believe me, you are doing it only for the first day. And if on the first day you are doing so much, I'm sure you know as you carry on, as you work on it, you'll get better. Much better. What was it? To be a teacher, I have a important.
BHU থেকে শিখিয়ে দেব BHU থেকে সার্ভিস
না ত্রিপুরা ইউনিভার্সিটি পেয়ে যাবে ত্রিপুরা কোথায় বাড়ি তোমার খুব ভালো জায়গা শান্ত শিষ্ট জায়গা যে শিবকা সিস্টার্স আর টকিং a lot are you working or only talking কোন কোর্সটা করেছে Shana madam, it is working. All of you will have to do the coding part. Because that is one work that you have to do because for 1.5 days I am not let you do anything. I have done everything. Agree, yes or no? Now it's your time to work. ওটা না ওভাররাইড হয়ে গেছিল কোনো ডকুমেন্টের আছে সারা ডকুমেন্ট নামটা কি আছে By the end of the day, I will come to every table and see the coding what you've done. So make sure you know you do everything. When you're doing it right now, a lot of these things look very simple. But unless you work, it will not become a part of your Right? A lot of things are a part of our short-term memory. We think that it's very easy. But if it has to be part of your long-term or mid-term memory, you have to work on it. So please complete that. This will be more of a silent session. Do call me or come over here if there's a problem. But just do that, because after that we talk about linking codes and this and that. That's important. Complete the entire paragraph with codes. Right? And we will see that, because on your document itself you can see whether how many codes have how many. The same code can be used more than once, as often as you want. The same quotation or the same paragraph can have as many codes as you want. It depends on what you're trying to find out from the document. You are using the document to address your research problem. So let's take it as a research exercise. I guess all of you are extremely fortunate that you have this exercise, that you are able to work on it, on a consistent basis. So let's work on it, and by 5:30 we'll just have a look around and see what is happening. Is that clear? If there is anything else, if there is any other thing that you want me to explain, I'm here, and I'll be more than happy to talk about that. About any other concept, about any other clarification on Atlas.ti, right? I've seen some of those girls there. They've done very nice coloring and all that. It's done well, right? Chetna and what's her name? Megha. Anju and Chetna, they have all done. Anju has done that wonderful color. So if you want, you can share your screen and show it to your seniors. They've done the coding very well. I mean, they've done the color part extremely well. They use the color very well, and I guess youngsters have different look for colors very well. I will come around and we'll have a look at the codes. So this is a part of the workshop exercise. Let's complete it. Believe me, we thought over it, and even evening, we were having a discussion with Professor Jilly. We asked whether a group activity would be good, but eventually it was decided that individual exercise will be better. So this is a planned exercise. So please do it that way. If you have your own documents that you're coding or using code books, you're very free to do it right now. We will do that tomorrow as well. So that whatever queries and all are there, we'll work it out tomorrow. Is it fine? Is it okay? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Everyone, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Anju, yes or no? Say. Priti, you have a laptop here? You're working on it? Please complete the document. पूरा NMP को कोड कर डालो. कोड मैंने दिया और अपना भी कोड डाल सकते हो. You can use your own code as well. And come back again and all. But unless you indulge in that exercise, and see, you may not use all the 50 codes that I gave you. I mean, that's just to give you an idea that there are all these options. But you can decide to use your own codes also. But unless we get into this habit, research is not a very easy thing, right? It's not about anything in shortcut. I'm happy to see the MA students taking so much interest, because it will help you when you are into your research part. And extremely happy to see senior faculty also, spending time on this. Kiran Kumar sir, it makes sense? We'll talk about triangulation tomorrow. And where's Datta and Niranjan? Oh, there. Okay.
Start with my doubt of like the major doubt I'm having with the document. I mean, we all started with the sentiment analysis, right? Here in the document. So I have like I don't know before coming here I don't know what sentiment analysis is. Here while reading I'm having few doubts saying thinking. So this text. The text here, yeah. The previous policies, okay. I feel like we have done the sentiment analysis was done by AI, right? The software. But I feel this is like, and it has given positive. The sentiment is positive. Like, so how it categorizes whether it is positive, whether it is negative, whether it is neutral. Because when I read, I felt it is a kind of neutral or negative kind of paragraph. But it has written, it has positive sentiment. So I just wanted to clarify what is positive, what is negative.
You want me to clarify?
Sir?
You want me to clarify?
No, I don't have the clarification.
No, you want me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Because without that, I don't know how to.
Yeah. So, very quick question, very quick, I didn't want to speak, but the clarification is required, so I'll speak for another half an hour.
We also had same this. We find positive, but it is negative.
See, I'm sure many of us, how many of us work on ChatGPT? Can we raise your hand?
All.
No, not all. 4 or 5. Well, this is not a trade secret, yeah. So, why? Because I have to find it. So, what is ChatGPT? What is the full form of ChatGPT? No Googling. Generative, pre-trained, transformer. Generally, the idea was to use neural networks. We have what are known as RNN, CNN and all those neural networks, where the idea is very simple. The algorithm tries to replicate the human brain, and the input provides a certain kind of output. We know, and all of us, and that's very important, all of us know the predictive capacity of these algorithms. I mean, they can tell us whether something is spam or not. They can tell us what the next word on the document will be. They tell us a lot about things about, all such things, whether some certain things are, neutral, positive, negative and all that. So I want to come to the basics of that. Basically, artificial intelligence does not mean that it has a metallic brain or something. It has been trained on a data set to perform certain tasks. The new technology that Google developed in 2017 is known as a transformer technology. Based on certain inputs, it generates some kind of output. Now, what goes inside that black box is very complex. Most of the time we don't know how exactly it works. But the point is that based on certain prompts, based on certain tokens, it generates some kind of an output. So that is the technology that we have. It is based on training data set. GPT, for example, has been trained on almost 1 trillion data points, as they say. And everything that exists on the digital world, all documents, all social network things, everything, so that it can find out about, it can predict. Basically, it is predicting a sequence of words where it is writing down. This word followed by that word, followed by that word, followed by that word, etc. So that's how these models work. That's how I was talking of supervised learning, unsupervised learning. I'm not going to all those details, but what we have to understand is that the AI input is based on a lot of, so an AI output is based on a lot of the training data set that has been trained on. One important difference with ChatGPT is, there are 2 or 3 differences. One is that, what is the difference between general computer coding and AI algorithms? What is one major difference? Anyone?
Human versus
Hanji?
human intelligence versus AI.
Almost. Anything?
AI brings brings all the data from different places and combines and make it a one a separate code.
Okay, well again, normal computer code works on if then else logic.
Okay.
If this, then this, else this. If something has 4 legs, if something meows, something does this, something eats this, something does this, something does that, something that, then it is a cat. Basically that's how computer codes work. The AI machine learning algorithm is fed with hundreds and thousands of cat pictures of different dimensions. So that the next time it looks at a whole lot of animals, it can find out that this is a cat. Secondly, it is, as I said in the morning, it is reinforcement. It keeps on getting better. Now it can understand sarcasm. So that's a very important part. Thirdly, there is a human enforcement involved here, the human reinforcement involved here, because all the training that it has been trained on is on the internet. A lot of it is racist, a lot of it is obscene, a lot of it is abusive. So there were human coders, a lot of them from Africa, paid $2 a day, working on telling that this is racist, this is not racist, labeling them basically. So this is not a magic that is working, it is based on all those training kind of things. So that when it assumes all those forms, it can do that. ChatGPT again works on 2 very important things. Even if it has not been trained on some kind of a data, it works on something known as zero-shot learning or few-shot learning. Even if it does not know something, it will try and generate something based on a lot of those complex training that it has been through. So there are these major differences. It keeps on learning, it keeps on getting better. It keeps on, and that's why there are a lot of people who say that maybe ChatGPT 10 will program itself and humans will become irrelevant. A lot of people think that it will be, it won't be required because it will program itself. And I don't want to go into the dystopian idea. Why I have given you so much of background is that the black box is not very clear how it happens. It could be based on keywords, it could be based on context, it could be based on how those things are. Here say a major development is happening earlier and all. That's why it is being coded as positive. But believe me, this is not, this is not static coding, this is dynamic. They keep on getting better, they keep on improving. As I said, that it's it can now see through sarcasm also. Earlier it could not see through sarcasm. So this is dynamic. It keeps on getting better. If we think, and this is very important, how we make use of it. If you think it's not positive, do not use positive. Change it, make it negative. Do that. But you cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't say that all the entire AI algorithm is wrong. No, it is not. It can do some stupendous tasks. It can do some massive tasks. You have to create 100 MCQs. Just put the text. Ask it to provide 100 MCQs in 1 minute it will do. I can show you right now. Give me your text. I will do 100 MCQs with questions and answers. It will make, it will make a lot of our content writing very easy. It can generate codes. Many things are not good. But if we start with the assumption that it is wrong, then that's not right. If certain things are not right, change it. That's why the change is with us. But understand that AI is a very, very important tool, and it's based on training data sets. I'm sure we know that. Very often, good mails were sent to spam. Nowadays, it does not happen that much. होता था ना spam check कर लो. मैंने आपको भेजा spam में चला गया. So then, Google could not predict. Now they are predicting much better. If you're typing, they're predicting the next word much better. It's based on a lot of things, including your emotional state of mind. Someone was talking about nudge, behavioral economics. And that is very, very important. Amazon knows in what mood you are at what point of time, so it sends you that message so that you will buy otherwise which you might not have bought. Some fascinating consequences, believe me. And that's where these human elements are required. The coding we are doing is human coding. Basically, we are using help of that, and then we are taking help of that. So I have to give this clarification because right at the beginning I told you I'll talk about AI maybe sometime. So you can't say that I said and I didn't talk about it. Any questions about AI? I would love to do that because I talk about AI applications a lot, and I use it regularly. As I said, I use it. A lot of AI research tools are there for researchers. Research Rabbit, Connected Papers, Elicit. I've made videos on that. It's coming up on a daily basis, and it's really helpful. It looks at those semantic similarities and all that. So there is no one set. As I said, it's based on that transformer technology, which is not straightforward neural. It's beyond that. That's why what happens in that black box, and that's where the problem is that we do not know what is happening there, and the consequences are there for the social science researchers. Probably not the right time, but we'll discuss about that. Hope that answers.
Maybe next sequence, maybe a positive and negative to take. Cause also take. If you take the sentences, it comes negative. If you take the paragraph, it comes positive.
That's the point. See, because it works. So maybe another paragraph. This one you said that it might be negative, but if you see on a whole, it cancels each other. So it's not that it will go only in one direction. In another case, it will do. For me, I can just say the major development. This earlier it was that. That's why they are saying this positive because it's a major development. So that's why it's been put
It
as
says
positive.
like technology, the future. More technology, there will be loss of job. That sentence in Hindi.
Okay.
Still, people will lose job. So for that it gives positive. Maybe next.
I'll have to see the entire paragraph because probably it is talking about maybe
Next opportunities maybe.
Yes. So on the whole, it provides not totally negative picture, but on the balance, it does that. There are many things. There is something known as the temperature. Everybody will not get the same response. If I give a query to Chat GPT, you do the same. Both of us will not get the same response because the temperature is not one. It is all the other differences. We have a computer science teacher here. She will help you more with the details.
Actually, it works on the mechanism of what you said, the supervised learning and unsupervised learning system, and it will also implement a concept like NLP algorithms to
natural language processing, trying to mimic how we do that. It's no longer just NLP, it is also natural language generation. So it's not just even predicting, it's even generating. That's why this is not plagiarism. It's not copying from a website, it's creating content on your own. I did a video on how ChatGPT works. If you want, you can take that also.
there are
Thank you.
different levels in order to study those things like deep learning, NLP algorithms, supervised learning.
Yes. I've tried to put it in a non-technical way.
I'll just start with my experience of using Atlas.ti, okay? So, I just wanted to give one small example why we need Atlas.ti, especially for the being an anthropologist. Recently, I submitted my PhD, and when I started my job search, I have seen at least 10 to 15 job descriptions, and every job description says they need Atlas.ti or NVivo. That is the importance of at least one software, whether it is Atlas.ti or NVivo or one qualitative analysis software. Okay, so and when I started using Atlas.ti, and I have seen I haven't used NVivo, but I have seen NVivo how it works. I felt Atlas.ti is even better and softer than, it's lighter than NVivo. Okay, and with the document being, again, we don't use, though we use secondary data, but we use, especially me being an ethnographic researcher, I have relied mostly on my field data. Most of the quantitative part I have taken help of Ranjan and other friends in Mysore, but the qualitative data I haven't, like I couldn't use, I didn't know about Atlas.ti and NVO, and the qualitative analysis part I have done on my own using, again, how Sir told ChatGPT. I have used, like for almost, I have given my field notes, I have given my transcriptions, I have given my all the qualitative data to the ChatGPT, and then I have to go, like again I have to modify the answers given by ChatGPT. That was the only way I had to complete it within a short time. Okay, so yeah, being the document National Education Policy, which is a report of government, I felt it's kind of difficulty. It is someone's work. It's not my work. It is someone's work. I am reading, understanding that, their intentions, their, what they want to say is kind of difficult. Being a person who is from anthropology background. Okay, the first paragraph. Yeah, though okay, I'll just read out the first paragraph. Education is fundamental for achieving full human potential, developing an equitable and just society, and promoting national development. Providing universal access to quality education is the key to India's continued ascent. The leadership on the global stage in terms of economic growth, social justice and equality, scientific advancement, national integration and cultural preservation, universal high quality education is the best way forward for the developing and maximizing our country's rich talents and resources for the good of the individual, the society, the country and the world. India will have the highest population of young people in the world over the next decade, and our ability to provide high quality education opportunities to them will determine the future of our country. So, from the first paragraph, which again I have removed the sentiment positive and negative here, that's where I started. What do you say? Practicing the Atlas.ti will, whatever it is, practicing gives you where you are making mistakes. That's where I have in the first paragraph itself, I didn't know how to, how to give different codings. So I have removed the, by mistake I have removed the negative, this thing, whatever it is, okay. Then, yeah, though there are many wordings in the paragraph, but among the already existing code book, though we can add our own code books, that's where we can understand, we can make our own code books, for every document. There can be, if I make code book, and if Ranjan makes code book, if Sharmukh makes code book, it will be different, and what do you say? If you compare all of the all three of us code books, there can be similarities, there can be differences, which what do you say? Which need to be compared, and so I from the lecture, from USPS's lecture, I understood what are codings, what are coding groups, and what are themes. But when it comes to the practice, when it comes to how to do it on software, it's I don't know. I have I'm lagging in somewhere. I don't know whether I'm very much correct with the coding, and whether I'm keeping it in exact code group or something. So
that's why we said it has to be iterative process. Once you will do it, again you'll come back. and then you might need to add or whatever. So it's not just one reading, so it's not like it's done in one go. As I told you, I mean, doing for the first time it will be there. But the idea that you realizing that this is how codes develop or this is how it will carry on is the idea why we had this exercise. That means go on and you can keep on adding to the codes.
Yeah, without practicing and without do it on everyday basis, it is very difficult to use these softwares. I can end there. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.